So I've been lifting for years, and the thing that finally transformed my physique was using something called the Kaizen philosophy, a way of thinking that using small improvements and building on top of that is the key to actually making long-term progress. The reason why I looked like this after 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't even know how many years of lifting, I looked the exact same after all that time because I was in this mindset of perfection and not about small improvements and constantly building on top of that. So I was in this real rut of if I missed a day of my nutrition, I would go down a bad rabbit hole of overeating and losing track of what I was supposed to be doing. If I missed a workout, I'd start again on Monday. And I was in this vicious cycle for years. And although overall I was going to the gym and eating relatively healthy for a regular person, but for me, it wasn't good enough, and I kept constantly falling off the wagon because I was pedestalizing what perfection was, and the only way to get that end result and perfection was by doing these things without fail. Otherwise, there was no point in doing it in the first place. But once I switched this mindset to using the Kaizen philosophy, I was constantly assessing week on week how I can make small adjustments and small improvements in my daily habits, my routine, my nutrition. And if I had fallen off the wagon and I missed a day or whatever it was, I would start again the next day, and I would just assess what went wrong the day before, what I need to put in place so it doesn't happen again, and not think that just because I missed one day that all the progress was gone. It's better to make 10 steps forward and 1 step back and constantly keep repeating that process rather than making 20 steps forward and 20 steps back. That's the idea behind having this kind of perfectionist mindset that if you're not doing it perfect, there's no point in doing it at all. And that's the wrong way of looking at it, and it's not going to get you that long-term progress. I looked the same for years, and after only just 2 or 3 months of actually locking in, changing my mindset, I look like a completely different human being. And through those 3 months, I constantly fell off the wagon as well. I missed days of my eating, I missed days of my training, I had days where I couldn't be bothered, and whatever it was, but I changed my mindset from having to be a perfectionist to just making progress. That's the important thing. If you constantly have that mindset of, what can I do better the next day, instead of I missed this day, there's no point in doing it until I restart or whatever it is that you might be thinking about, that's what's actually holding you back. For instance, right now it's Thursday, and I missed the last 2 days of staying on track of what I actually wanted to do. I did go to the gym, but I didn't hit my cardio and I wasn't hitting my nutrition exactly how I wanted to over the last couple of days. But that's okay. I'm still making progress because today I understood that, I'm not going to start again on Monday. I'm starting again right now. I'm going to put the steps in place. I'm assessing what I did wrong over the last couple of days. My routine was off, and that's what threw off my day. And I'm going to make that small change today. Now, I've been to the gym, I'm doing my cardio now. At home, I'm working. And through this small improvement, nothing major, not asking for perfection from myself, I'm still making those steps forward. That's the way that I'm making progress. Now, it's not going to get you in that, top 1%. If you're going for like a bodybuilding show or whatever, that's a different story. But for the everyday Joe out there, myself included, you can make insane change in your physique, in your mindset, by having this thought process. And you can even see in the pictures of myself the huge change in just 2-3 months. It's crazy because I was able to switch that mindset. So you need to move away from that perfection over progress and reassess what it is that's going to get you that long-term result. This is exactly the kind of mindset that I preach to people that I help, and this is what gets them that result because they're able to constantly keep making progress week after week. It's not about if you have a bad day, you got to start again. That's the wrong idea about it. You really need to treat each day as just that. It's a new day. What happened yesterday doesn't matter today. So if you missed it or if you were on it, it doesn't matter today. That's how I'm thinking about each day. Each day is a brand new day for me to either perform or to be the same as I was yesterday. And I know how I felt yesterday when I didn't hit my nutrition correctly. I felt like shit for the rest of the day. And I knew that if I want to change that, I need to put steps in place, focus on this philosophy of what small minor improvement can I make today. And that small minor improvement was making sure that I woke up on time. The last 2 days I wasn't waking up on time. It threw off my routine because I was busy, staying up late, whatever it was, watching movies. And I woke up late and it threw off my routine of what I wanted to do. And it threw all the whole system out of whack. And because of that, I was taking one step back. So today, it's a new day. I was ready to reassess, re-attack the day, change what I needed to make sure I was making those other 9 to 10 steps forward. And I'm not guilty about it. I don't have this weight on my shoulders. For the people that have that perfectionist mindset, they're constantly thinking about, having this burden on their head about having to hit the gym, having to hit their nutrition, versus if you have a mindset of progress, a mindset of small improvements, it's actually going to lift a weight off of your shoulders when you have that mindset. It's the same philosophy and thought process behind weighing your food. For some people, it's an eating disorder or too over the top to be weighing out your food. But for me, because I weigh out my food, it's exactly like having a financial budget. It's the exact same thought process. I know exactly what I can and can't eat for the day. And if there's stuff that I do want to eat, which is, bad, I want to have a cookie or chips or whatever it is, I can work it in and I can eat that without feeling guilty. With other people that are just thinking about eating healthy for the day, if they go and grab a cookie or whatever it is, I bet you they're going to feel 10 times worse about it. So at the end of the day, who really has the problem with eating? Me, who doesn't even think about it much throughout the day. I just know exactly what I have for the day. Just like a budget, I know exactly what I have to spend in the day, and that's that. But if you're thinking about being in a saving mode, I bet you're constantly thinking about how much money you can spend. When you go get a coffee, $4 or $5, I bet you're thinking about it. But if you have a budget, you know that you're allowed to spend $50 for the day for activities, food, and all that, and you spend that $50, I bet you don't even think about it once. The exact same with your tracking your food. You know exactly what you have, and because of that, it's actually a weight and a burden lifted off your shoulders, and it makes it easier than just trying to watch what you eat or eat healthy, that kind of philosophy. It doesn't work long term. I don't think about my training and nutrition much throughout the day. I just know I have these things I need to tick off, and because I know exactly what to do, and through using that Kaizen philosophy of constantly improving and constantly making small adjustments, not major ones. I'm not doing, huge mind altering or routine altering changes each day. Today I woke up at 5 a.m. Tomorrow I'm not going to wake up at 2 a.m. and go do a marathon in the morning or whatever it might be. Small improvements day after day, and being really conscious of it. That's the main thing. If you're constantly thinking about how can I just be a little bit better or change this process, or lay out your clothes the night before bed to minimize that transition of when you wake up to when you leave the house. Small improvements is what's going to compound over time. If you make a small mistake, that's all right. An error in your nutrition, your training, whatever it is, and you course correct. You just think about it. What do I need to change? But if you never course correct, if you never self-analyze what you need to change, and you constantly keep going down that road, it might be a small error in whatever it is you're doing. Your training's not as good. Your food and your nutrition isn't as good. Because you make that small 5-10% error, it'll compound over time. In 2, 3, 4 months from now, all those small errors that you never bothered to assess and improve through the Kaizen philosophy, having that mindset, you'll be in a completely different position in 3 months from now than if you had that mindset. And that's exactly why I was able to make that transformation, that change in just 2 or 3 months, because I got rid of that mindset of having to be 100% or nothing. That's the biggest downfall to anything. I know you'll get a lot of advice that you need to lock in and, you can't miss a day, whatever it is. And it's very motivational. It'll keep you going for a few days. but it's not what's going to get you to the end goal at the end of the day. The end goal, you're only going to get there through this kind of philosophy, through this mindset. That's what's helped me. It's what's helped the people that I work with. And it's the best thing that I found that's sustainable as well. It's easy on the mind, it's easy on the body, the routine, and it extends to all areas of your life as well. Once you start thinking about how do I improve the gym, my food, you start thinking about work, family, relationships, all that kind of thing. And you constantly just want to make small improvements. It doesn't have to be major. I'm not making any major moves, any major changes day after day. I'm making small minor tweaks which don't cost me much, which don't cost too much effort, which don't cost too much time. That's why it's easy to do day after day. But after 1 week, 1 month, 3 months of making those small, consistent improvements in my habits, my routine, my mindset, I'm in a completely different place than that person that, they do nothing for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then they have that eureka moment. They watch a YouTube video of locking in or whatever it is, they get hyped up, and then they, after like 2-3 months of not going to the gym or eating like shit or whatever it is, then they completely lock in. They're on it with the diet, the nutrition. How long do you think they're going to stay on it for? Versus the person that just continually, gradually improves in terms of progress. That's what's worked for me. I know it's what's going to work for you. So have that mindset switch. Look into the Kaizen philosophy, apply it to your life, to all areas of your life, not just training and nutrition. It wasn't just my transformation of my physique that improved over the last few months. It's everything else as well. And it gives me energy to constantly keep pushing. So making those small adjustments is the key to long-term progress. If this is something you need help with, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on Instagram, or book in a call with me and we can discuss a little more about how we can get things done. Catch you in the next one.